Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to League Racing TV here for round number 5 of the TTML Formula 3 Championship here at the Dutch Grand Prix. We're going racing now for Zandvoort here in the Netherlands around this 4.2 kilometer circuit. 14 corners, 2 DRS zones awaiting the drivers here today. But allow me to introduce myself. My name is Ivor Bryn Mike, going to be taking you through the action as your lead commentator. Hopefully joining the party very soon. We'll have my co-commentator in Storm. Hopefully he'll be joining the party momentarily. At the moment he's just not in here just yet, but hopefully we'll get him in and be able to go through all the action. And as I say that, Storm has just joined the party. Storm, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to quickly run and do something.
Well, I can confirm, mate, we are live right now, and obviously I wasn't here last week, so maybe you could take us through what happened last time out in Hungary.
Well, yeah, it was a very chaotic Hungary. We had the dry to wet conditions, and it was very close between Carlsbury, should I say, and CR7. CR7 did pick up 2 3-second penalties, which dropped him from a podium, I believe, to round about P5 to P6. So he's definitely going to want to take a race win here, maybe to even up that championship rival.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, as you mentioned, he did drop off the podium last week. The podium was Carlsbury taking the win, Sway in second place, and Legend on the podium in third place. And what that does to the championship is it does extend Carlsbury's lead. He is now on 119 points with CR7 on 85 points for second place. Sway with that second place last time out, jumping up into third place on 75 points. AJ in fourth on 64. Jan in fifth on 51. Wesker in sixth on 50 points, and we got a Legend on 47 points in seventh. Scuba, who is a reserve driver, in 8th on 44 points, a Pewley Boy in 9th on 41, and Graham rounding out the top 10 on 39 points. And honestly, Carlsbury has started this season very well, and we saw it last season with CR7. He doesn't make many mistakes, but this season he does seem to be making those mistakes, and Carlsbury seems to be the one taking full advantage of this. How do you feel about Carlsbury's season so far?
Yeah, looking at Carlsbury since the season start, he has just gone strength to strength. His all-round performance is getting there, and I think, as you mentioned, CR7's performance has just kind of been a little bit off. We saw that in Hungary last week when he wasn't here, that he just seemed like he was on his own. He had nobody to battle, and AJ just wasn't there to give him that tow or any possible support. So I think they may use that this evening, McLaren, because they need something to, I think, try and maybe catch what seems to be at the moment an unstoppable Carlsbury in that Alfa Romeo. He just seems like he has everything right, and every week he just comes to whatever track it is and he just does the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And Carlsbury, at the moment, as it stands in the lobby and in terms of the Constructors' Championship, which I'll go through momentarily, is the sole Alfa Romeo as well. And obviously, with him being the sole Alfa Romeo, all of Alfa's points are accumulated by Carlsbury, and that actually puts him second in the Constructors, behind McLaren, who are 30 points ahead. If Carlsbury's teammate turns up, Alfa could really mount a challenge to McLaren, but as it stands, I think AJ and CR7 are probably working better as a team right now. But if CR7 keeps making the same mistakes that we've seen so far this season, and if AJ's not there to back him up, it's going to be difficult to keep well, not only to keep in touch with Carlsbury, but to keep a points advantage over Alfa Romeo in the Constructors.
Yeah, and the other thing you've got to look at it is, if Carlsbury is at this level, what level does CR7 to go to even match him, to even you know, get a race win or, you know, beat Carlsberg on the track, because when we was in Hungary, it was literally everything that CR7 was throwing at Carlsberg, it just wasn't enough. When we went to the intermediate tyres, it just seemed like CR7's tyres just wouldn't switch on, they just wouldn't go, but Carlsberg's tyres were, bam, they were there. Even I believe, I can't remember if he's a reserve or not, JJ that was here last week for Alfa Romeo, set it on pole position last week as well, fantastic lap. They were just working in between each other, him and Carlsberg, in that top 5, and I think that also helped Carlsberg. Unfortunately, he didn't finish JJ last week, so yeah, I think constructors McLaren may have it, but single performance, you can't deny the performances that Carlsberg has really shown this season.
Yeah, absolutely. As we are loading into qualifying right now, and just give you a perspective of how much Carlsberg's improved from last season this season. This time last season, Carlsberg was only on 8 points. That's how much he's improved from last season. He's 111 points better off this season than where he was last season at this exact point in the season.
Yeah, I think that just shows he's been really working off the time we had breakaway. He's really, you know, got his setups probably right. He's got, you know, his all-round, you know, track knowledge probably sorted, and he's just offering that full package that CR7 probably wasn't expecting. It's probably caught CR7 off by guard. It was like, who's this new rival? You know, obviously they've battled together last season, but not at this level. It's just maybe that wake-up call that CR7 goes, oh, I have a championship rival now, I need to defend this. And this track in Zandvoort may just be that because of how high the curbs are and the type of track it is.
Yeah, absolutely. As we got a Ferrari going to be the first car out on track, and it looks like it's going to be Stevie G first out on track. And obviously we got to keep an eye on this pit exit. Everyone has been warned that they have to remain within the white lines to avoid a dangerous re-entry on the pit exit. So that's something we will have to keep an eye on as we go through this race. But yeah, as you said, you know, with Carlsberg, it just seems this season he has got everything absolutely nailed down. But CR7 is also making the mistakes, and I mean, we saw last season, Carlsberg did have the pace, but he was making mistakes. It's just a case of the tracks favouring Carlsberg now compared to last season.
Yeah, it's like going back to Japan last season when we commentated. Carlsberg had that insane pace, but just made the mistakes. But this season, it's like Red Bull in real life. They couldn't match Mercedes last season very well, but this season they've just come into their own element, and that's what Carlsberg done. He's taking the full advantage of the car he has. Okay, yeah, it's equal power, but you know he's got really suited in that Alfa Romeo, and he's just doing what everyone else can't. He is literally the guy to beat at the moment.
Yeah, and we're on a lap right now with Stevie G as he comes through the banked corner of turn 3 through the kink of turn 4. And through turn 5 into turn 6. What's the first sector split saying? It's a 24.6 as we go downhill through turn 7. Slight little uphill, 50-meter brake marker board breaking down into 8 now into turn 9. Third gear. Very easy to lose it on traction, I find, in those two corners if your back end just steps out on you. For the hairpin of turn 10, DRS wide open now on the run down to turn 11. How much of the curbs he's going to take? He's going to take absolutely none of them. Keeping it very safe right now is Stevie G as we go into the penultimate corner of turn 13 and through the final corner of 14. And oh, he gets a little bit of wheel spin mid-corner and he's absolutely lost it for the final corner. That is unbelievable there from Stevie G. As Ahmadi sets the provisional lap time, and Stevie G is facing the wrong way. He needs to get turned around the right way, otherwise he'll get disqualified from the session.
Yeah, that's what that final corner can do. We saw, I think it was George Russell, did that on the bank curbs as well, didn't he? Because his car went into the back of behind which Stevie G nearly went in. Oh, sector 1, sector 2 yellow flags. Is that people just going slowly? As the first medium runner has been set of a 111.1.
Yeah, 111.1 for Microsoft as Dylan puts it on provisional pole with a 10.6. I see in the chat, what are the stand-ins? We went through the stand-ins earlier, but it is Carlsbury leading the championship right now on 119 points to CR7 in second place on 85 points. So a nice cushion at the moment for Carlsbury. So he can afford a little mistake, but he can't afford for it to take away all of his confidence as we move further into the season.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting with this track because the DRS zones aren't like a long DRS zone like a Baku or potentially maybe the Hungaroring, where you've got that double DRS zone like Hungaroring has in turn 1 and turn 2. So they're going to make these overtakes very quickly in the DRS zone as well. And that turn 1 on race start could be very tricky and may just cost a few drivers.
Yeah, as Sloth is gearing up for another lap. He is the lead runner at the moment on the mediums. I'm very interested to see how these guys approach the final corner, because obviously there is that tight line that most people will take. But if you run right, you can use the advantage of that little bit of a hill to gain yourself a little bit of extra speed. So we'll just go for the final corner with Dawn here, as I'll just show you what I mean. That little dip there on the outside, that can gain you a little bit of extra speed, but it's interesting to see who's going to take that dip and who's going to keep it tight to get the quickest run to the line. And which one's actually quicker, I don't know yet, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and it's also, what's the tyre strategy here, because I've completely forgotten what it is, but yeah, it seems to be a lot of drivers are opting for the soft compound tyre, the quicker of all three compound tyre, but doesn't have much wear on it. It will probably last not that long. Yeah, so it'll be interesting how the drivers play it here. I might be, if I'm right in thinking, it is a two-stop because of how many laps it is.
I'm not entirely sure it is a two-stop. Honestly, I haven't really done much running at Zandvoort, so I personally can't really give too much on that. I've done a couple of TTs, so I don't know what the race strategy is around here. However, I do believe a soft hard is probably the more likely thing that we'll see around here. Maybe we'll see a soft medium. I don't know what the tyres are like around here in the race. Or we could possibly see a two-stop that you was just alluding to right there.
Yeah, and I think the two-stop may come into effect if there is a safety car. If it's out for a few good laps, I reckon we may see somebody try and do a soft medium. In that case, if they do the one stop or a soft medium, and maybe the second stop will help them get up the order, because everyone will be on worn tyres that did not pit on that two stop. So it's a lot of variables that can play into this race, especially for anyone that wants to move up the championship, or Carlsbury who wants to try and hold on to that championship.
Speaking of Carlsbury trying to hold on, he is currently the man at the top of the timings with a 10.5, and he has just improved to a 10.4. He's found all that in the final sector. I can confirm he was marginally down on his sector 2 time, so he found that 10th in the final sector, and the championship leader in fine form as his nearest rival in CR7 is still in the pit lane.
Yeah, and I think that because we are now a few races into the season, it gets to the point where CR7 has to look at it and go, what do I have to do? What can I do? What can I bring to the table to do this? And it's very interesting that every week the top 5 or 6 are very different, because Paulie's up there this week, Dylan's up there, D's up there, Yarham's up there, so it's very interesting to see who's going to be up there, we don't know, because it's going to change every week, because each different driver will have a different track they like. It looks to be at the moment as the Aston Martins may like Zandvoort.
Yeah, you may be right with that. However, one thing I will kind of say that these are the first initial runs, so we'll see where everyone is on their second run. As I'm on board with VAG AFD as he comes through the penultimate corner, and it's looking like a good lap from the Red Bull driver as he comes through the final corner. Keeps it very tight to the inside. This is the alternative line I was mentioning through the final corner. It's a 10.7 there for VAG.
Yeah,
and
it's just...
Legend. That was Legend popping up into P3.
Yeah. Oh, we got our first retirement. That's on track as well. That's yeah, I'm just trying to...
that is turn 2 on the exit of turn 2.
Yeah. I know when you come out the banking, if you don't get it right, you can understeer it and go into the wall, so drivers may just be going through that a little bit slow. And it just seems also anything in the 1 minute 10s, like round about 1 minute 10.7 to 1 minute 10.5, is going to get you in the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. It could definitely get you into the top 10. I'm interested to see how much further these times are going to fall down, because Dylan is not far off Carlsbury's lap. We've got CR7 about to get us underway on the lap, so I'm going to stay on board as Poldy goes on provisional pole there with a 0.3. So Carlsbury may not have it his own way here in Zandvoort, as on board with CR7 to get underway on his first lap here tonight.
Yeah, as CR7 is on his lap, hopefully he doesn't get any traffic through, as he's going to come through, I believe that's turn 3 and 4. I'm not familiar with Zandvoort, unfortunately, and I know this is the end of Sector 1 because it has come up. Not Sector 1, Sector 2, apologies. As we'll check the sector times.
He's in Sector 2 right now.
Yeah.
What you just saw was the end of Sector 1. But yeah,
right.
he's just come through turn 10 now. DRS wide open on the run down to the second sector split. 48.6 in the middle sector, and now through 11 and 12. A little bit of traffic up ahead, but shouldn't really pour off CR7 as we go for the penultimate corner and for the final turn of turn 14. He uses that little hill I was talking about earlier and to the line, and it's a 10-0. The gauntlet has been put down by CR7 here. Carlsbury is on outlap. Can he respond?
Yeah, so just in the context, that's roughly around about 3 to 4 tenths quicker over a lap. So, and that's only on a banker lap. I think that's CR7's first lap as well. So it's going to be interesting as Carlsbury is going to start his flying lap here as he is going to cross the line, and he will now start his lap.
Yep, as we break down into turn 1, third gear, keeping it nice and tight, trying to get on the power on the exit as we go into turn 2. Very important not to touch that curb. You see Carlsbury there, he did touch it, and that catches car because of the way the car loses it as soon as you touch it, as we go through 3, 4, 5, 6, and now into turn 7. He is marginally up on his first sector split as we go through turn 8, trying to keep it all nice and smooth as we go into turn number 9. Third gear, short shifting up into 4th, now into the hairpin of turn 10. 4th gear as well, trying to get on the power. DRS wide open now on the run down into turn 11. He's about a 10th up. He needs to find more in this final sector as we go through turn 12. Once again, short shifting up to try and get the power down as early as possible for the penultimate corner, turn 13. And now for the final bank corner of turn 14. DRS wide open to the line. Will come Carlsbury. How much rev up the order he's going to get? He's going to gain almost 2 tenths, but he hasn't beaten CR7 here. But he does jump ahead of Poldy.
Yeah, oh, and he's just invalidated on his call lap. But yeah, Not enough there. Ran about 2/10 behind, but 2/10 can make a difference. Yeah, I just looking at others as well. Graham has slotted himself into P14 with a 1:10.7. So all the drivers are in the 1 minute 10s except from Yogi, a little bit off with a 1:11.0. Mercedes is not having a good weekend here, unfortunately. Like real life, they did. But yeah, so it seems to be it's going to be either an Alfa Romeo at the moment or a McLaren, as Yaham has retired.
Yep, that's just on the entry into turn 3. So what I'm guessing has happened there is he's clipped the curb at turn 2 and has completely lost the car there. And we're going to see, I think we're going to see a fair few people do that over the course of this week's racing in TTML, because it is very difficult. As soon as you touch that curb, it's like the S's in Suzuka. You know not to touch that curb, and if you touch it, you're gone.
Yeah, I think with this track, with the way the curbs are, as you mentioned, they can cause a car to spin, and they can end a race. So yeah, the drivers are going to be careful there.
Good lap there from Stevie. Puts himself up in the P4.
He showed a good race last week. It was like he was up and down, but he had the consistency that could match in the top 10. So yeah, a very good lap there for the Ferrari driver, as he's looking to maybe press on for a podium in Zandvoort. But yeah, with this track, I don't know if you're a fan of Zandvoort or not, but I hate the curbs on this. It can spin, especially if you're going at them at a speed that will spin you into a wall.
Okay, so my opinion of it's a Pewdie Boy is off in the gravel there. He was behind the Ferrari, but Pewdie Boy invalidated his lap early on. My honest opinion of this track is I'm not a fan of it when it comes to actual racing, but I am a fan of it when it comes to qualifying. That's my opinion on it. It's one of those tracks where it's great to qualify, horrible to race, in my opinion.
I think in that sense it is like, I know people might say, different and everything. It's like the Jeddah, the new track. Great qualifying, but an absolute, well, I wouldn't say it's not bad racing here, but it's not great for racing. One lap qualifying or whatever people prefer to do, it is much better.
I mean, I just personally think it's a better qualifying track than a racetrack in general. But honestly, I mean, it's not like we can't get good racing around here. We definitely can. It's just one of those things where I think qualifying matters, a bit more. And as long as you keep it clean in the race, you should be okay. But Ahmadi at 10th and a half up, as he's in the middle sector split. He's trying to get himself into the top 10. CR7 has retired from the session, so has Stevie, and it actually looks like CR7 has actually binned it on the exit of turn 7, as we got Ahmadi now coming to the line. What's this going to be for the man in the Haas? He improves by 10th, and he does get himself into the top 10.
Yeah, I actually saw what CR7 actually happened to him. Yeah, I think he just, from what I saw, he clipped the curb, and yeah, it's just spun him into the wall. And I'm just hoping that Carlsberg can get to the line, as there's only 35 seconds left on the clock, and he's got a bit of traffic in front. So yeah, can Carlsberg beat CR7's time? CR7 can't do no more, as Carlsberg is now going to come around the final.
AJ up in the P4. But we're going to go aboard with Carlsberg for this final run here into turn 1. Can Carlsberg top the times here in qualifying? He's got to find 0.2 of a second to beat CR7's time. Let me know if you see anyone else coming through to the line on an absolute flyer of a lap. But the checker flag is out now. Sway, best he could do is 7. Varg and Graham, unfortunately, outside the top 10. But on board with Carlsberg now as we go into turn 8. big knock on the curb there. As you can see, he's absolutely all over the place trying to get that car back under control. He has managed to do it, but how much time has that just lost the man in the Alfa Romeo as we go to the second sector split? He's a 10th down. It doesn't look like it's going to be good enough for Carlsbury here.
Yeah, Pauldy's right behind as well, so that may be one to watch if he could catch Carlsbury. Oh no! Pauldy should say, has had massive understeer coming through the second to last corner, and yeah, I don't think he's going to improve.
Oh, we'll wait and see. No, he's into the pits. He's given up on it, and that is going to be the end of qualifying here. The championship leader and the championship protagonist, the reigning champion from last season, sharing the front row together, and I wonder how spicy this is going to get into turn 1.
Yeah, it's I think going to get very spicy. Obviously, last week Carlsbury and CR7 didn't have that front row lockout at the front, so we didn't get to see that battle. But I'll hand you over to yourself for the qualifying results here in Zandvoort for TTML F3.
Yeah, so it is CR7 who takes pole position ahead of Carlsbury, who joins him on the front row. Then we got Poldy in P3 with AJ in 4th, Stevie G in 5th, and Legend in 6th, Dylan in 7th, Sway in 8th, Yaham in 9th, and running out the top 10 is Imadi. Just over 5.5 temps separating pole position in the 10th place, very close here, as we got her PewDiePie, Wesker, Emma Sloth, Jan, Vag, Graham, Yogi, and Appledorn rounding out the grid there with 3 choice of tyre compound, and from 1st down to 17th, just over a second separating them. That is a very close qualifying session if you ask me.
Yeah, a very close qualifying session. It'll be interesting what the strategies are played out from the drivers as we wait for the weather and the race formation lap.
Oh my god! The heavens have opened here in Zandvoort. It's like being home. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think I brought the weather from Hungary because this is what it was like in Hungary last week. It was, yeah, and I think that would explain why no driver got into the 1 minute 9s, because they may have been using a wet setup, because this is definitely going to be either intermediate or wet tyre. So if I am correct, you'll have to update me on this. If it is wet conditions and it stays like this, no driver will have to pit unless they want to, but I suspect with the game and everything, these tyres won't last. And it is wet compound tyres, so we are going to start on the wet compound tyres. I believe they're the hardest of the wet compound tyres, so they may last quite a while, as we have 36 laps here.
Well, I can tell you right now, intermediates, they would not last the entire race. The wet weather tyres, which are the extreme wets, what we have on right now, they are so durable that they probably could last the entire race. The question is, will everyone survive these conditions? And if the weather changes, that's going to be the big questions here. As I'm just going to have a little look through, see who's running less fuel here. Poldy's in the negative on fuel. Dylan's in the negative. Sway in the negative. Who else is in the negative? Anyone? Oh, Graham's in the negative as he's actually going ahead and cutting a bit of grass here. It's nice to see Graham looking after the lawn maintenance here as we come to the end of that first sector on the formation lap. Yeah, a few drivers opting to have some fuel out of their car for the start of this race.
That does question a few things. Maybe a safety car. They know they can save a bit of fuel there. So the game is predicting a wet to wet strategy, which is one stop, or a 2-stop wet, and then another set of wet. So yeah, under the normal F1 regulations, you don't have to pit if it stays this way. So it's going to be CR7 versus Carlsbury Alfa Romeo versus McLaren. Also, Pauli up there, fantastic qualifying from him. CR7 has his teammate in the top 4, and I'll hand you over to my commentator colleague, Ivor Brynmike, for lights out here in a very wet Zandvoort.
Yeah, as we wait. As I'm getting a lot of X's above everyone's name, and I am absolutely terrified and have the same situation as what I had last week. But we are going to wait now for everyone to get into their grid positions and those 5 red lights to come on. Who is going to get the better launch? Will it be CR7? Will it be Carlsbury? Will Pauli get a better launch? But here we go. 3, 4, 5 red lights get us underway here in Zandvoort. Lights are out and away we go. And looks like a very good second phase there for Carlsbury. He's going to draw almost alongside. But AJ getting the jump on Pauli as Carlsbury is down the inside of CR7. The championship rivals side by side through turn 1. It looks like CR7 has done just about enough, as I'm getting a lot of X's and I am absolutely terrified once again. How's it looking from your end, Storm?
Yeah, I haven't got any X's above the names, but it is all an action packed here on the first lap of the track as they come through the corners and everything. Yeah, it is a very good start for CR7 and an amazing start from AJ. AJ couldn't really get it together in Hungary, but he seems to have got the wet track conditions to his advantage here in Zandvoort. But don't count out Pauli. He has the pace. He got it onto P3. He's just got to knuckle down and yeah, see what happens the rest of the race.
I'll tell you what, this is perfect for CR7. Obviously, he doesn't want to play any games at the moment, but what he could do if he really wanted was try and back Carlsbury up into AJ, get AJ through, and then he'd have that buffer. What he's got right now is a threat sitting in right behind Carlsbury.
Yeah, and the other thing you've got to look at is no DRS, so the drivers are going to have to rely on pace. And if we're looking at pace-wise,
oh, Sway all the way around the outside of Imadi. I'm sorry to cut in there. Through turn 1, out breaking the Haas and sending it all the way around the outside. They wheel the wheels to go into turn 2, and Sway smartly backs out there. But is he going to try and hang it all the way around the outside? Maybe look for the better exit. He's unable to get it done, but what an attempt there from Sway to get the move done on Imadi, and he may actually get the run again, but has a bit of understeer there as we've got yellow flags in the background, and that is Vag who is out of the race. That's a virtual safety car here on lap 2.
Yeah, these are going to be crucial because if Carlsbury wants to close that gap, he needs to stay very close under these VSCs to CR7 because, you know, in the wet it is going to be tricky to overtake. It's going to be no DRS available, so they're going to have to rely on pace. And if pace is going from qualifying, CR7 has that by at least 2/10. So, and 2/10 in F1 is, you know, it's not a large margin, but
it's a lot.
Well,
2/10 is a lot in F1 terms. But we're going to wait for this virtual safety car to end. It's important for AJ to get a good restart here as well, as we're waiting for the VSC to end as we are on the lap 3. Anytime today, could we get the virtual safety car to end? Stevie G with a drive-through penalty. I was just about to say, with the VSC going on for so long, will we see anyone jump the gun and get a drive-through? And Stevie G does get the drive-through and gets overtaken by Dylan at the same time. He's got Edgem down the inside, actually. Sorry to cut in again.
That's alright.
Go on, as you were going to say. Oh my god, Carlsbury's off track.
AJ's in the wall. AJ's out.
No.
AJ went into the wall. I think he may have just caught off guard, and that is, yeah, that's not helpful for McLaren, as CR7 is on his own, but so is AJ. Not AJ, Carlsbury. Carlsbury just had some understeer coming through that corner, so he may just want to cool down his tyres a little bit, as they may be screaming at him as they are a little bit hot.
Well, my only assumption there for AJ, I think he's at that same understeer. He's gone wide like Carsbury did onto the grass, and he's tried to get the car turned in, and he's just lost the back end through that corner. But yeah, Carsbury able to survive, and he gets a brilliant run on CR7 here. I don't think he's going to be close enough into turn 1 unless he goes for a lunge, and Legend's out of this race. That's a full course safety car. Yep, on the pit lane for the final corner. He's lost it, and we are down 3 drivers here on lap 4, and we got a full course safety car.
Yeah, I think this could be a long night for a few drivers. Yarham on the inters.
That's a very big call.
And that's a bold move. And look how close Colesbury is right behind CR7. He's not going to let him go, is he? He literally is just reeling him in for that championship race win here tonight.
But I'm going to go on board with cars. We see how his Inters are managing, and obviously he does have a delta that he has to stick to, which could be the issue for him. But are the Inters the right call here? I mean, maybe if we see the front 2 come into the pits, I assume everyone's going to come into the pits.
Oh, they nearly Colesbury nearly overtook CR7 there. Just had to back off a little bit.
Yeah, and it's important for Colesbury right here to give CR7 a bit of space up ahead, and we urge everyone to give each other a bit of space under safety car conditions, otherwise you end up with 5-second time penalties galore. But let's see if the front 2 are going to come into the pits. I believe they will. It is getting CR7 sells Colesbury the dummy, but Colesbury comes in. So does Paul D, Dylan, and with D, Sway, everyone's coming in apart from Jan, who stays out.
Yeah, and Vag's incident, he has put in the chat that he was at gear 7. So yeah, pretty impactful incident there, and yeah, I won't repeat what Legend put for his incident, as yeah, we'll leave that to the imagination, I think. Yeah, so everyone is into the pits except from the top 4, and one of the the Mercedes, apologies, has decided to stay out on the wets, as that rain has eased off a little bit.
I mean, it's eased off massively, if you ask me. I think CR7 may have tried to sell Galsbury the dummy, but has actually played himself here by staying out on the full wets.
Yeah, it may not be that crossover period yet, but some of the drivers may just feel better on the intermediates. Or the other thing we could be looking at is, well, not for CR7 because his teammate's not here, as he's unfortunately DNF, but a few of the drivers maybe just giving teammate preferences. We saw Haas do it here in Zandvoort. Well, they tried to, but it didn't go to plan. But yeah, safety car in this lap.
Alright, so now we're going to see how good the Inters really are here, as I'm going to go on board with Colesbury just to see what kind of grip he's going to have on those green wall tyres as we wait for CR7 to get us back underway. He's backing up the pack, and now he's gone, and Yogi a little bit slow to respond there, and Colesbury's going to try it down the inside. Is he going to have the grip on those Inters? You would assume so with how little it is raining right now. Oh, a bit of contact between Yogi and Colesbury's down the inside. Moved down as we got Poldy and Imadi battling out behind. I think it's Inters.
Yeah, set the 1 yellow flags. Who's gone off? That's an AlphaTauri.
Sway and Sloth. Oh my god. Absolute carnage here as Sway, Sloth and a PewDiePie all having issues there, and it looks to me like they must have either just lost it and came in contact with each other into the wall, or there was some foul play going on there. But I'm interested to see. Obviously, Carlsbury, he is stuck behind Wesker. He does appear to have more grip than the guys on the full wet compound tyres. So we'll see now as they go for the bank corner. Oh, around the outside. Carlsbury around the outside of the final corner. Fantastic there from Carlsbury. Gets the move done, and he's up into P3.
Yeah, fantastic racing there for Jan. This doesn't help Carlsbury though, as Carlsbury needs to get back past Jan and get on.
Carlsbury just went past Wesker, not Jan.
Oh, sorry, I got muddled up there. Yeah, so Wesker may set the 1 yellow flags. That's Mercedes.
Sorry, yeah, Mercedes.
Oh, Yogi's out. Yogi is out. Sorry to interrupt you there. Yogi is out, and I think it's the wet compound tyres they're having.
Jan gets straight through on Carlsbury. I think Jan's just got straight out the way of Carlsbury.
Yeah, it's Havoc in Zandvoort, they might as well say. Sector 1 and Sector 2 yellow flags at the moment, so hopefully they will clear soon. But yeah, it just seems like the wets are not having the best of time at the moment.
Yep, and it looks like CR7 has absolutely played himself here by trying to dummy Carlsbury into the pits. It was the correct choice to actually dive into the pits, and CR7 will be overtaken, I'm sure, on the run into turn 1 by Carlsbury here. DRS not active, is all slipstream. ERS down the inside goes Carlsbury, and the new fastest lap also for the Alfa Romeo, and that's job done. And into the race lead goes the championship leader. Oh, CR7 loses the back end. It is treacherous for these wet compound tyres. These guys need to get into the pits and get them off ASAP.
Yeah, it is questioning why CR7 has opted to stay. I guess it's the case of, well, I'll come out on more fresher tyres than the Inters, but you are losing that gap to a championship rival, you might as well say, as the two Hasses are doing very well at the moment. Imadi in P3 and Jan in P4, so they may be ones to watch.
Yeah, but they've also got two Astons on the Inters closing them down in Poldi and Yaham, and Poldi's over the back of Wesker. Should have the traction to get a good run, and he is going to have a good run. He's going to try it down the inside. Yes, he is. Oh, contact, and Poldi is around, and Yaham taking avoiding action there. Very, very good to avoid it actually there from Yaham. It wasn't a lot of time to make that decision, and fortunately he was able to make it and avoid damage. But look how much Carlsbury has already pulled on CR7. It was 4 seconds before CR7 came into the pits, and he's going to drop all the way down to I think around P8. Maybe he'll drop behind a PewDiePie. I'm not sure. No, a PewDiePie is going to be way behind. So P8 for CR7. But let's have a look at the gap between him and the leader. Now it is 20 seconds because he made that mistake to not come into the pits underneath the safety car, and Yaham and Dylan side by side through turn 7. Oh, a bit more contact, and that's Dylan half around, and Dylan's out.
Yeah, safety car.
That's
yeah, it just seems like
CR7.
Yeah. Oh, as Yaham gets a 5-second penalty, severe collision with Jan. So yeah, it seems like Zandvoort is taking a driver a lap here, because we've done 9 laps of 36, and yeah, 12 remain.
Yeah, not quite a driver a lap just yet. We have lost a fair few. Obviously, we lost Vag first, then AJ Legend, then we saw Sway. Oh my god, as Yaham goes straight into the back of Jan, and that's going to be another 5-second time penalty, surely. We lost Sloth and Sway. It appeared they've made contact with each other. We lost Yogi, who was on the wrong tyre at the wrong time, and we lost Dylan with that incident we just seen between him and Yaham through turn 7 as we got the 5-second stop go for Yaham. And this is a bit of a saving grace for CR7 because he is going to come out now in P4, so he has fresher inters and he's already able to get himself back up into a respectable position to really challenge Carlsbury here.
Yeah, see, now CR7 is in a very good position because he's going to be on fresh inters, but he needs to get through Stevie G and Imadi to even think about Carlsbury. But yeah, it's been a very chaotic and hectic start to this race, as we are only 10 laps in. We have another 26 to go.
Yeah, and while he does need to get through on Stevie and Imadi, it could have been a lot worse. He could have had to go through Jan, Wesker, Graham, Yaham and Poldy as well, so let's not forget that he definitely has an easier job to do now. But I think CR7 should have the pace to get through on Stevie. Imadi could be a thorn in his side because Imadi does look like he's got decent pace on these inters, so be interesting to see if Imadi actually puts Carlsbury under pressure on this restart.
Yeah, and if I am correct, I believe Imadi was Formula 4 last season with yourself. So, yeah, he's obviously had that jump up. So he's going to want to mix it in. He's had an up and down season here in F3 this season. So maybe he's now at the point where he's thinking, I've got Carlsbury in front of me here. I can maybe go for a podium or a race win here.
I mean, maybe if there's a race to really try to take advantage of something, it is Zandvoort in intermediates and wet conditions. That is the place where you really want to take advantage, as Carlsbury is on the is in AI mode as he goes on pause. So I'm not sure if there's a rule against that.
I believe there might be. Yeah, and the other thing you mentioned, if there's a race where the championship rival or the current champion are not having a good day, it goes back to when we was in Hungary and Ocon had that race win. Maybe Imadi's looking at it thinking, I might be able to get myself a podium here. Get my season started. I know we've had a few races, but yeah. I think he may just be, as you said, that thorn in his side, as the safety car is going to now come in, and Imadi's not going to hang around, it looks here.
Well, I think Imadi got a bit too close to Carlsbury there, but Carlsbury went slightly off track into the gravel. So we'll wait to see at what point does Carlsbury get us back in the way, and he's already gone. He's absolutely caught Imadi napping here, as CR7 I don't think it's going to be close enough to Stevie this time around. But yeah, Carlsbury absolutely nailing the restart and has already almost got that 1 second window once again.
Yeah, and if it does dry up even more, getting over that 1 second early on, if DRS is enabled, then it is going to be crucial, because you need to create the gap now. So if it does dry out over the next 18 laps, then you aren't at threat of DRS.
Yaham on Graham, he's backed out of it. Sorry, I was on board with this battle for
P8. No, it's fine.
Having a little look on Graham there, again the better run out of turn 3, but not going for the overtake. Going to be a bit smarter, a bit more patient, and try and pick his point to really attack the man in the Williams here.
Yeah, and it's in this first lap after the safety car, it just seems like there's a split between the drivers. Like everyone from P1 to P5 I've all gone, and then there's just that little gap, and then you've got everyone from Wesker down to the Mercedes driver. Literally, there's just that split, and I think we may just be in for maybe a split race from the top 5 to the remaining drivers, as it is now going to be a very interesting middle part of the race and end of the race as well.
Yeah, and CR7, he is getting very close to Stevie, but Stevie is getting some good traction out of these corners, which is helping him stay ahead of CR7, and this is heartbreaking for the McLaren driver, because look at the gap Carlsbury's already built to Imadi in second place.
Yeah, the rain is still coming down, but it's not, a heavy rain. It's a very light rain. So I just wonder if it will stop. We had this in Hungary, just the reverse opposite way. It was dry to wet. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it does stop, how quick the track does dry up, and if these drivers do go on a dry compound tyre. CR7 is closing up to Stevie G, so that overtake may be coming very, very soon for that final podium place.
Yeah, but Stevie does get a good run out of the penultimate corner and for the final corner, as actually, CR7 I think had a lift off there momentarily, and that's allowed Stevie to once again keep ahead on the run into turn 1. CR7 just can't get the run where he needs to get the run to get past this Ferrari here.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, with Imadi, that fawn in the side, Stevie G is literally, obviously not helping because they're not in Alfa Romeo, but he is literally just holding as a buffer for Carlsbury to create that gap. Carlsbury has a 3.6 second gap to Imadi, so yeah, it's very, well, I wouldn't say it's very close, but yeah, it's coming to the point where if CR7 doesn't get past these drivers, oh, he's going to go for it now, I believe. No, he's going to have a look.
Switch back. Oh, he gets on that inside curve, and that's absolutely ruined him there.
Yeah, and Jan's closing up on CR7 as well.
Oh, he's gone for it. He's lunged it down the inside, and Stevie, fair play, he's given the room there, and Jan's got through also. To be honest, very good awareness from Stevie there to avoid contact with CR7. I've seen many drivers, not really respect the people. DRS is enabled, guys. Surely is not going to switch to the dries right now. It still looks very damp on track.
Well, the sun has come out a little bit. Paulie's on the mediums.
Well,
this is
going to tell. This is going to tell us as Paulie.
It's
on the
all
mediums.
or nothing.
Yep, as Wesker gets a horrible exit there out of the hairpin, and the Petey Boy did try it, and unfortunately for him, didn't work. Let's have a look. Let's have a go on board with Paulie right now just to see what's happening here. And yeah, these. Ooh, hang on. It could very well be dry compound tyres. He is closing down the gap to Dawn ahead of him. Let's have a look at the gap to. Oh my God! No, Dawn is out of the race. Let's have a look. A safety car is out, and that's just absolutely ruined Paulie.
Yeah, that has not been the best situation Paulie wanted, as we have 10 drivers left, and yeah, we're lap 15.
Carlsbury is in, MOD is going to be in, CR7 in. Jan needs to kind of slow down a bit to avoid the double stack, but I think it's still going to get affected, so we may see Jan get jumped by Stevie here, as the hards for Imadi, and this is very interesting. Lap 16, we got the safety car out once again with Yaham on the softs. What is he doing? Some bold strategy calls here. Imadi on the hards, Yaham on the softs, everyone else on the mediums. Paulie came into the pits at the perfect time, but the safety car absolutely ruined him. Carlsbury had such a lead, such an advantage up ahead, and the safety car has also ruined that for him, because now, as the rain has almost stopped on my screen, but what he's got now, he's got Imadi who's on hards, and he's got CR7 in behind who's on mediums, and should really have the grip advantage to get through on Imad a lot quicker than what it would have been in the intermediate conditions. And the rain has stopped.
For Yaham, I think it may just be he wants to get up the grid on track position, and then maybe, well, he's going to have to do another stop if he wants to finish, because them softs won't last the laps that are remaining left. And it's interesting. Imadi's gone for hards. Of course, they'll go to the end of the race, but they may be a slower tyre to the mediums. So yeah, very interesting there. Different tyre strategies for the Hasses, one on the medium and one on the hard compound tyre.
I am very confused in why the safety car is staying out. Everyone was on the train at the end of the before the second sector split. The safety car has stayed out. Spaldy is back into the pits.
Yeah, I think he made.
And he's put softs on.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Both Aston Martins actually, funny enough, on the softs.
Well, okay. Let me run through what I'm thinking is going on. Imad is definitely trying to get to the end. I think Galsbury CR7 maybe, and everyone else on the mediums, maybe trying to get to the end on these mediums, but they're keeping their options open just in case there's another safety car. Yaham and Poldy may be attempting to be as fast as possible as soon as we get back underway, and they may be picked for a second set of soft tyres around the lap 26-27ish to get to the end. But we're going to see which strategy comes out on top here.
I think also another thing with the tyres is if there's another safety car, it would be handy for the two soft runners because they can pit onto very fresh mediums.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. DRS will be enabled in 3 laps time, so that should help with the overtaking, just in case CR7 does get stuck behind Imad. I can't really see it happening given the fact that he is on the mediums compared to the hards, but we have to wait and see. Carlsbury backing up the pack, about to get us underway here as he goes through the penultimate corner. Once again catches Imad absolutely napping, but this time CR7 has the grip. Oh, as he actually catches a major slide there and drops down the order. He drops down in towards P6. Oh my god, contact with him and Wesker. A CR7 in the wall, no front wing. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's wow. That's not what CR7 wanted to happen. And Yaham is also in the pits as he went round on the safety car restart. So yeah, not a great day for the McLaren driver at the moment.
I mean, I was on board with CR7. He lost it coming out of the final corner. Was able to absolutely catch it as PewDiePie absolutely sends it on Stevie. Stevie getting a good switch back there. Got to try around the outside of turn 10. Maybe look for the better exit. He hasn't quite got it though. PewDiePie up into P5. But yeah, CR7 absolutely heroic saving our car out of the wall on the restart. Drops down the positions there, and I think Wesker may be looking to try and get past Stevie G into turn 1. Completely just moved across, maybe not realising that CR7 is still there, and absolutely wiping CR7 into the wall, losing his front wing.
Yeah, obviously that'll be... Oh, Yaham has had a... Oh no, he's got back underway.
Yep, Yaham having a spin of CR7 back into the pits once again, and heartbreaking. He's going to check on another set of medium compound tyres here. These should get him to the end. He should have no issues getting to the end, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I think in that situation it's going to be the case of, did Wesker see him there? If he did, then he'll need to, I guess, the reaction time was maybe a little bit slow, but yeah, very unfortunate for CR7. But we saw in Abu Dhabi, he was at the back and he had the pace to get through nearly everybody in Abu Dhabi, but 2 different tracks. But yeah, it's now going to be all eyes on CR7 as he has to try and get himself back up the order, as DRS is enabled.
Yep, DRS has been enabled once again, and well, it's looking like a very good day at the moment for the Haas duo in second and third. Imadi in second place, Jan in third, but Jan does have a lovely train attached to his rear wing, which could cause a few problems once obviously they get to the DRS zones. So the run down into turn 11, we may see Wesker have a look at the Haas Jan. We may even see Poldy use the grip of those soft tyres to have a look on Stevie here in a few moments. But PewDiePie over the back of Wesker, so maybe Wesker focusing a little bit more on defensive play rather than attacking right now.
Yeah, and it looks to be that a Huli Boy is also looking on Wesker, so is Stevie G as well. Yeah, so it is going to be interesting to see how Stevie G and Huli Boy try and get past Wesker, because they are all on the same tyre, so and they're all the same wear, so Poldy could potentially get into this as well, as he's closing up the gap to Stevie G.
And he may actually go for it. He's moved to the inside line. He's going to outbrake him on those soft tyres. He is going to go for it. Big lunge down the inside. Stevie gives him the room. Fair play once again from Stevie, and Poldy now up in the P6.
Yeah, Poldy using them soft compound tyres to the effect of the grip and the pace that they have. But yeah, it's quite interesting to see that maybe Jan hasn't overtaken Imadi, being on the mediums and needing that little bit of a gap, that buffer, as he's got quite a few cars behind the second Haas driver, which is Jan.
Yeah, absolutely, as Wesker has got a good run out of turn 10. He's not going to be close enough with DRS into 11, but as long as he gets a good exit onto the main straight, we should see Wesker get himself up onto the podium position here.
Yeah, I think it may be a battle between these two for the final Oh! As Stevie G has had a spin in the background, and that's in Sector 3. Graham takes P7 off of him, and yeah, that's the Ferrari having a spin.
Yeah, Wesker, I don't think used his ERS there to good effect, and stays behind the Haas once again for another lap. But what this is doing is, I think Jan's playing the teammate game right now. He's allowing Imadi to build up a decent gap here. Imadi has used a lot of his ERS. Carlsby hasn't used much, but Jan also hasn't used that much in comparison to Wesker. PewDiePie is sitting on 80%, so he's got a lot to play with. Poldy is trying his best on those softs, but he's in a DRS train right now, which is not where he needs to be on those soft tyres.
Yeah, I think, as you said, I think that's what Jan is doing. He's just creating that buffer for Imadi, because he is on the hards, and yeah, they are going to take a few laps to get bedded into the track. But yeah, as I believe a Huli Boy
he's sent it. Oh, he's not. Wasn't quite close enough. Wesker done well there to kind of match him in the braking zone to really cover that off there from PewDiePie, and I think Poldy has had a bit of a mistake somewhere, because he's outside that 1 second window, or maybe his tyres are already starting to lose their advantage.
Yeah, them softs will die off quite quickly, as Huli Boy is having another look, I believe, as he's really close to that Red Bull, and this is helping Jan, because Jan is now able to just pull away a little bit. He will be still in that DRS range, but yeah, it's just helping him a little bit.
The unfortunate thing for Jan though is the fact that because these guys are still in DRS, while he would normally be able to pull away with these guys battling, they're just going to be dragged back closer to him. So he kind of needs a PewDiePie to maybe have a look down the inside here, slow him up, and it looks like a PewDiePie may have the run to go down the inside. Wesker is going to defend the inside line. PewDiePie is going to go all the way around the outside. I think Wesker's going to hold on to it. Yes, he does, but here comes a PewDiePie. Great one out of turn 1. Backs out into turn 2. Smart call there from the man in the Alpha Tauri, as the Red Bull car still stuck behind the Haas. And Poldy still outside that DRS window of a PewDiePie.
Yeah, the thing with between Wesker and PewDiePie is the two Red Bull Honda power engines, so that'll be interesting. Red Bull versus AlphaTauri. Is the AlphaTauri driver gonna get past that Red Bull car as it comes through the DRS zone? Well, Jan won't get DRS, but PewDiePie has got DRS. Is he gonna go for it? Doesn't look like it.
Very, very close to running straight into the back of Wesker there. However, I will say, PewDiePie looks the quickest out of these drivers right now, but he can't get past Wesker at this moment in time. As Stevie picks up a 3-second time penalty, maybe this time around, can a PewDiePie get close enough? No, he's not using any ears as well. He kind of knows that he can't get close enough. But also, up ahead, Carlsbury 6.5 seconds clear of Imadi. Fantastic restart from him.
Oh, set the 2 yellow flags. Stevie. That's Stevie.
Yep, Stevie around again, and he is very close to getting lapped. If he's got no front wing and has to pit, he will be a lap down from the race leader. As have a little look, doesn't appear to be any damage on the Ferrari. But back on this battle for the final spot on the podium, and it looks like these guys are getting held up so much. Poldy has managed to rejoin onto this queue, and Graham is now there also.
Yeah, this is now just becoming the DRS train, as PewDiePie is still on the back. He can't get past. But yeah, this also is just showing sheer dominance again from Carlsbury up in P1. And yeah, it's getting very tricky now for Imadi in that Haas. He's now 7 seconds behind Carlsbury.
I mean, as much as we can say Carlsbury has dominated, but also a big factor in this is also CR7 has made the mistakes again.
Yeah.
He stayed out on the wets when it was time to switch into the Inters, and then on the safety car restart, losing his car for the final corner. Cost him a lot of positions. Okay, the front wing change was probably, well, definitely wasn't CR7's fault in my opinion, but it happened because of the mistake he made in the final corner. He put himself in that position.
Yeah, and I think it's the kind of thing of, you know, you make a mistake and he's paid for it, I think. As he sits in 8th, 23.3 seconds off of Graham. And yeah, Graham just outside the 1 second, only by a small margin, as that now comes back under. And yeah, nobody can just get past Jan. Jan's just placing that car in every part of the track where it needs to be.
Yeah, I think a PewDiePie now, oh yeah, he's definitely got the run on Wesker here. Wesker's going to defend the inside once again, though. The PewDiePie is going to commit to the inside. There's not much room there. And Wesker holds on to P4. PewDiePie is trying to get through on Wesker, and I think if a PewDiePie gets through on Wesker, he gets past Jan.
Yeah, I think with the pace he has at the moment, he just is lacking that final piece of the puzzle where Wesker may just be defending in the right place at the right time, and I think that's why a PewDiePie can't get past. But yeah, I think very soon that overtake may be coming, but they haven't got many laps left. They have 9 laps left.
Yep, lap 27 of 36. I'm keeping an eye on that gap between Imadi and Carlsbury. I think we are going to be getting close now to the point where the hards may become the better tyre compared to the mediums. So we may see that gap between Imedy and Carsbury start to close in. Is it going to close in enough before the end of the race? I don't know. But definitely something to keep an eye on, as now Boy all over the back of Wesker once again. Surely he's close enough to get it done this time.
Yeah, as he's going to go round.
Oh, contact again between them. A little bit of a wing to wheel contact there between Wesker and Boy, and once again Boy stuck behind Wesker.
Yeah, it just seems like a move he can't get done, and it probably is getting frustrating to him now as Jahan picks up a 3-second time penalty. Pauldy is now 10 laps on the soft, so I suspect they will start to fall off soon.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is for Pauldy is that Puli and Wesker, they are battling, but they're not dropping away from Jan. So as long as these guys can all stick close, Boy still has a shot, and even Graham has a shot here, and he is the man in P7. He's on the back of this train, and he's probably looking at these guys thinking this is going to be a matter of time before something happens here, and he can gain a couple of positions out of it. And I think Boy is starting to lose his patience with Wesker.
Yeah, and I think the frustration may just start to be showing as they come onto lap 29. 7 left, I believe. Yeah, or is it 7 or 8? I can't. Maths can't count tonight.
Well, it's lap 29, lap 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. That's 8 laps.
As
Maths Survivor with Mike on a Thursday evening. You'll love to see it.
Pauldy's not dropping off though, even though he's 11 lap on the soft.
Oh, here goes Boy down the inside of Wesker now. Sorry to cut in. Squeeze there from Wesker onto the inside curb to Boy, but Boy now he's starting to look in other places as he is now trying to push his way through, trying to get ahead of Wesker. He knows he's got the pace to be quicker than the Red Bull here, but he needs to get this move, he needs to commit, and I think now he has to try and get this now on the inside into turn 1. He has to full commit to the inside, try to be as clean as possible, but he does need to commit one of these times and actually get far enough alongside Wesker to really get it to work.
Yeah, I think he may just need to get close a little bit more, but Wesker's getting a little bit closer to Jan there, as he was nearly on the back of the diffuser, as they are on lap 30 of 36. So yeah, Jan's just like literally holding on for dear life for that P3.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Wesker is using Urs to defend from a Boy. Jan right now is sitting on 80% compared to Wesker on, well, 40% now. As Jan sets the new fastest lap of the race down there in P10. He's having an absolute nightmare race here today with the amount of spins and everything he has. But he will be looking to have a bit of a battle very soon with Stevie for 9th place. So it's always a positive.
Yeah, as Boy comes around again, and he's one lap he's close enough, the next lap he's not. So yeah, it's very interesting to see if he can eventually get past, and it's not helping him to try and get past Jan either, because he is running out of laps.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on lap 31 of 36 now. Carlsbury has an 8-second lead to Imedy. Jan is 6 seconds back off Imedy, but has a decent train behind him, where all the action appears to be right now, with Wesker, Boy, Poldy and Graham just lurking in the distance here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Poldy or Graham even go for a move. I suspect Graham may go on a move over Poldy, because Poldy is on 13 laps softs, and they are probably screaming at him now because they are probably near to the end of their life.
Yeah, they are probably coming towards the end of their life. The thing is that Poldy is still doing very well to keep with these guys, and a PewDieBoy, Wesker defense to the inside once again. The PewDieBoy's going to try and outbreak and go around the outside. Maybe get the better run. Did get the better run, but he's not close into turn 2. He needs a good exit now out of 3 if he wants any hope of getting past the Red Bull, and he hasn't got it.
Yeah, I think Graham, he may want to do this because he can then maybe battle a HoolyBoy, because HoolyBoy just cannot get past this Mercedes, and while Graham may be stuck behind Baldy, yeah, I think he may just want to get this move done, as then he can be pulled into a HoolyBoy and maybe get himself a P5 or a P6.
Well, I think here's the thing for Graham. I think he's happy where he is at the moment, because he knows that what's called Wesker and PewDieBoy have been battling. So, see, he may think if these guys battle hard enough, they could pick up a 3-second time penalty. There could be an incident, or anything else that could happen here tonight. Poldy, as you mentioned, with those tyres starting to drop off, I think Graham is in a fantastic spot here. He can maybe get past Poldy, because you can see now he's starting to drop off a little bit from the from Jan Wesker and the PewDieBoy here, due to those soft tyres. He is going to fall into the clutches of Graham eventually. The question is though, these guys in Wesker, PewDieBoy and Jan, are they gonna battle and cost themselves time, which could lead to a 3-second time penalty, or are they gonna be very smart about if they go for an overtake, on when to go for it? So I think a PewDieBoy is starting to get frustrated.
Yeah, when frustration sinks in, it is very hard to, get yourself in that mindset of, I can overtake, I can do it, because the frustration is there, and I think that's what HoolyBoy is now getting. He's getting that frustration of, because look at the gap now, it's probably the biggest it has been for a few laps, as they come on to lap 34.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, we've been looking at this train for this entire time, but I don't think it goes without saying how well Carlsbury has done so far this race, and how well Ahmadi's done. They haven't had the spotlight too much since the safety car came in, but they've both driven absolutely fantastic in this race, and fully deserve the finishing positions that they'll get. CR7 coming into the pits for what I presume is going to be the fastest lap attempt. And it'll be interesting, because I think, Stevie and Yam, they're not going to do that because they're battling for P9. But CR7 may have a chance to get an extra point here tonight, which will kind of minimise what he's done as Carlsbury with a new fastest lap on those worn mediums. Absolutely fantastic there from the man in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, but CR7 has put on fresh softs, so expect he may want to steal that point from Carlsbury, and it is going to be that way for CR7. I think this race, how many points can I, snatch off of my championship rival? It hasn't gone fantastic for CR7 after his incidents. He just couldn't get the gaps, but yeah, he is in P8. He's still in the race, so he still will get points, but that gap between him and Carlsbury may just increase that a little bit more.
I mean, it's definitely gonna. I don't want to say definitely, because there is always still a possibility that someone could have a mistake, and we do not want that to happen. But still a possibility. But yeah, I mean, as it stands right now, Carlsbury is gaining big time on CR7 here, and Yaham makes the move on Stevie for P9. So. Battle there for P9 between Yaham and Stevie, who's actually got more penalties, done the same amount of penalties. So this is actually a battle for position here. So interesting to see how that turns out. Pewdiepie, he's running out of chances here. He's got to get the run on Reska. We're on the final lap of the race, and he's not close enough into turn 1 once again. And Pauldie's dropped out massively, and he's going to get overtaken by Graham here. So these guys are beginning to battle. I mean, you said about the tyres dropping off. Looks like Pauldie's have absolutely hit a cliff here.
Yeah, definitely, as it is now the last lap in Zandvoort. It seems like we was only on lap 1 a few moments ago, as Carlsbury has been absolutely dominant, as Pewdiepie is right on the back as CR7 sets the fastest lap on the softs with a 1:10.6. This is now Pewdiepie's last chance at the saloon, as he is going to come through the DRS.
He's got to go for it. He's got to have a look. He's had a look down the inside. Oh, contact, and the Pewdiepie is around as Carlsbury crosses the line to take the victory here. And I believe it's going to be a double Haas podium here, but can Graham manage to snag P5 from Pauldie? Doesn't look like it. Pauldie's going to hold on for P5 here, and Graham will come home in 6th. For Pewdiepie, he had to go for it, and he takes his frustration out on the wall there. But yeah, Pewdiepie coming home in P7. You do feel for the man in the AlphaTauri. He definitely had the pace, I think, to be on the podium there, but he just came behind Wesker, who was difficult to overtake here today, as CR7 crosses the line in 8th place. Then we'll have Yaham coming across in 9th, but he does have Stevie G right behind him, and Yaham crosses the line in 9th place, and Stevie rounding out the final of our finishers. CR7 immediately leaving the session, and to be honest, I don't really blame him. It was a long race for him. Driver of the day goes to Jan for the in-game driver of the day, but let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
Well, I think after that race, I'm going to give it to Imadi. He went on the hards, the slowest of all 3 compound tyres, and just went for it. He's kind of the situation where Ocon won in Hungary. He just put the tyres on and went for it, and yeah, he's got himself a podium here in Zandvoort. So yeah, my driver of the day is going to go to the Haas driver of Imadi, who started in P10 but gets himself on a podium.
Yeah, and I'm going to go for his teammate. I'm going to go for Jan for P3. Kept it calm, kept it cool while the guys were battling behind him, but I'll run you through the order very quickly. So it is Carlsbury who takes victory ahead of Imadi in 2nd place, Jan in 3rd, Wesker in 4th, Pauldie in 5th, for Graham in 6th, for Pewdiepie in 7th. But the fastest lap in P8 is the reigning F3 champion in CR7. In 8th. In 9th we have Yaham, and then we got Stevie G rounding up the top 10, and outside the top 10 we have a long list of DNFs. It is Dawn, Dylan, Yogi, Sway, Sloth, Legend, AJ and Vag. So a lot of DNFs here in Zandvoort. 10 finishers, changeable conditions, a very interesting race, and one that I think is going to throw up a bit of drama between these guys in the chat, and maybe when it comes to the stewards reports as well. But honestly, Carlsbury taking the win completely unchallenged after the safety cars. So congrats to Carlsbury on taking the win, and going to be a very difficult challenge now for anyone to really close up to him.
Yeah, so as we have finished here in Holland, in Zandvoort this evening, we are off next week to the Sochi Autodrome for the Russian Grand Prix. But don't forget, tomorrow we have TTML Formula 4 with TTG Conti and Rail Funky Chicken, taking you through the action on Formula 4 at 8 PM as they take the Zandvoort track in the Netherlands. Also, F5. We'll be back with NSR, Pariah, and Buck as well. They'll be also taking you through the action here in Holland. But until next time, when we go in F3 in Russia, it's good night from myself and good night from Iverbrin Mike.
I mean, you've mentioned F4 and F5.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's because I'm so thinking for the times. But yeah, F1 will be back on Sunday at 7 p.m. with our top guys from F1 in Zandvoort. So don't forget to miss that as well.
Yeah, and as Storm said, we'll catch you next week. Same old time, same old place. I've been Mike, he's been Storm Kings, and we'll catch you next week. Good night.